Hey there all you Habs fans, welcome to Talking Habs with Rick. In this video, I'll be giving you my top 10 Canadiens draft picks of all time. Now the draft I started in 1963, so was a pretty good list. So before we get to that, I'd just like to ask you to subscribe and ring the bell on the side, just below there. The bell notifies you whenever I release a video. I'd really appreciate that. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so like I said, the draft's been taking place since 1963, and when I thought of this video and I started to do the research, I thought I'd have this whole big list of names that I'd have to kind of get through and figure out the top 10, but it was a lot easier than I thought. So in 63, you're looking at 37, over 50 years of drafting. It was not a hard list to put together, I thought, anyway. Okay, so let's get to it. I've got three honorable mentions in there, so we're going to get to those first. So number one for the honorable mentions is Keith Acton, the Rat. He was drafted, I got to see now, 103rd overall in the 6th round in 1978. Why do I put Keith Acton up there? He played for Philadelphia pretty much mostly. He was just a pesty little, horrible little guy to have against you, but he was effective as far as for what his role was. And I was just really shocked that they had drafted him. I didn't know that, so I thought I'd put that in there. Okay, second honorable mention, Vladislav Tretiak, the Russian netminder, 143rd overall in the 7th round in 1983. When the Habs drafted Tretiak, they never expected him to come and play. I think it was more of an honor that they drafted him, and I thought, you know, that's a big name, and they had drafted him, so I thought I'd put that in there as an honorable mention. Okay, the third honorable mention is actually a player playing today, and people probably would put him on the top 10 list, but I didn't have him on mine, but he would have been number 11, and that would be PK Subban. Drafted number 43rd overall in the 2nd round in 2007. And don't take me wrong, I love Subban, loved him here, think he's a great player, just he didn't make top 10 on my list. Okay, so the first one, number 10 on the list, is Chris Nyland. 231st overall in the 19th round in 1978. Who would think somebody drafted in the 19th round could make the NHL, let alone be not only a great player, but he was great in his personality, what he brought to the team, and this is a guy who had zero talent, basically, totally upped his game and made himself a hockey player. So yeah, I think he definitely deserves to be number 10. And ahead of PK Subban. Only because PK Subban still has a long way to go in his career, so you never know, could get hurt tomorrow and never play again, so you know, that's why I did that. Number 9, defenseman Rod Langway, drafted 36th overall in round 2 in 1977. He was a great defenseman, American-born, tall, lanky guy. He went to Washington in the trade that brought us, I'm going to say, Mike Green and Ryan Walter, I think. Anyways, he was great while he was here, and he was a great defenseman throughout his career. So, number 9. Number 8, Saku Koivu, drafted 21st overall in the 1st round in 1993. Saku Koivu, captain. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm trying to show you. I'm wearing that right now. So I got the Saku Koivu shirt. Happened to be drafted in the year that right after the Canadiens won their last cup, so he never got to play for a cup. But he was a great player, great leader, and he could have been way better statistics-wise if it wasn't for that injury to his knee. I can't remember who it was that did it. It was somebody that we ended up having on our team after a few years later, but he got injured. He had 35 points in the first 12 games or something like that, 15 games. He was going to be a great offensive player, but that knee injury started a series of injuries, and he just didn't live up to that. But a great leader, great guy. Gotta respect Saku. Number 7, Mats Naslund, drafted 37th overall, second round in 1979. Naslund was a great little guy. I mean, this guy, if he only had size, what a sniper. Just a great player to have. Didn't play in an era where we won anything. I don't think. What was the year he drafted? 79. Yeah, I guess he was around for that first the Cup in 86. Other than that, but he was a great player. Just loved him. Super talented. Great hands. Number 6, Guy Carbonneau. Drafted 44th overall, third round in 1979. Same year as Mats. Carbonneau, what a great defensive specialist, third line checker. If you wanted to stifle the other team, you had Carbonneau out there. Great guy, a pretty decent coach. I think he got a bum's rush here. Gainey fired him too fast. Just a great player. Well deserved of the number 6. Number 5, Steve Shutt. Fourth overall in 1972. Steve Shutt, at the time, had the most goals for a right winger, or I can't remember. I think he's a left winger. At 60, he played on the line with Lafleur and Lemaire, and just was a great goal scorer. Had a wicked shot, could skate. Great player. Number 5, everybody knows number 5, Bob Gainey. Drafted 8th overall, 1973. Bob Gainey, our former general manager, was also a great defensive two-way forward. Winner of the Frank Selke Trophy for how many years in a row. The Russians called him the best player in the NHL at the time. He was just a great player. It's too bad he didn't have more success here in Montreal, but it was always nice to see Bob Gainey. I met him once kind of inadvertently. Used to be a courier, and a Canadiens club used to be a client, and they had these weird stairs going up, and then it curved. I was going up. I was coming down. He was coming in. Right at the turn where you couldn't see, we bumped into each other. And then once going into a store, I was going in, he was coming out. We both pulled on the door at the same time. So that was my 2 run-ins with Bob Gainey. Nice guy. Number 3. Not number 3? I thought, okay, yeah. Larry Robinson. 20th overall in the second round in 1971. The Big Bird. Part of the Big 3 on the Habs defense. Just a great defenseman. A solid wall. You couldn't get through him, but if you bumped into him, it was said that it was like hitting a tree. Strong guy, strong farm boy. Him also I met. He was a friend of my boss when I was working at a pizza place. I got to deliver pizza to him, got his autograph, and just a nice guy. Really solid, nice guy. We're down to number 2, and I bet you most people who know the Habs well will know who number 2 and number 1 are, I would think. I hope. Maybe not. And maybe you'd think I should switch them, but number 2, Patrick Roy. Got to be on that list. 51st overall, third round, 1984. Back in the day where you wouldn't get a goalie drafted number 1. And I don't know if they knew he was as talented as he is, or was. Patty Roy, what a great goalie. My favorite goalie of all time. Just, if you wanted to win a game and the chips were down, you put Patrick Roy on the nets. That was the guy. He's known as the money goaltender. The best money goaltender in the NHL ever. So that's a guy you could count on. And when he shut the door, he shut the door. I'll never forget that in 1986 against the Rangers, I believe it was, where with the wink to Patrick something like that. Never forget that. I saw that live, and just your heart just pounded with love for Patrick Roy. So he's number 2. Number 1, anybody who knows me will know what number 1 is. Number 1 is my favorite all-time Canadiens. Just my favorite, my hockey idol. Number 1, Guy the Flower Lafleur. Le Diamant Blanc. Drafted first overall in 1971. What can you say about Guy Lafleur? Guy Lafleur was just money in the bank. 6 seasons in a row, 50 goals, 100 points plus, obviously, in each. The best right winger in the game at that time. He could do everything. He could even get back, and especially in his later years, he could get back, and he played a great defensive game. So Guy Lafleur, deservedly the number 1 Canadiens draft pick of all time. So there you go. That's my picks. I'm sure some people would disagree and would probably have different ideas. So I'd be interested to hear. Anybody want to tell me what they think I did wrong, or who they would add, or how they would switch around? Please leave comments in the section below, and I will definitely answer. I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe to the video, and ring the bell, and you get notified of all my videos as I release them. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And last but not least, as always, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate. So have a great day, and I'll see you next time right here at Talking Habs with Rick. Bye-bye, everyone.